Hello everyone, welcome to the 170 Q&A practice. I'm going to start out with a basic Q&A testimony, and the subject is car accident, and then I'm going to move into something a little bit more challenging. This is going to start with defense attorney. Ready? Was it within a week or so of the accident? Well, yes. Do you remember? I can't answer that. No, I don't really remember. Who did you go to? I think Dr. Billick. Have you been to him before? Yes. Was he your family doctor? Yes, my mom works for him. Did you ever make it to your relative's house that weekend? No, we didn't go. Where did you go after the Big Five parking lot? You were in the Big Five parking lot, exchanged information. We went home. Then you drove home? Yes, right. Did anybody see a doctor that day? Anybody in your car? No. Is that the accident? It occurred on, you said, Good Friday, right? I don't know about that one because my mom might have went and seen a doctor. I know she did, but I'm not sure if it was that day. Okay, if the accident occurred on a Friday, is it possible that you went to the doctor the following Monday or Tuesday? I don't know. Okay, I thought maybe that would refresh your recollection. That's fine. Did Dr. Billick tell you anything about what he thought was wrong with you? I remember him saying to take Advil, but I wasn't really in the room when he was talking because I was in pain, so I don't know. He told your mother? Yes. Is your father around this area? He lives in Apple Valley. Did your father take you to any of these doctors? No. Did Jennifer go with you to the doctor? A few times, but she wasn't seen. Did Jennifer have any pain after this accident? No. You've seen a lot of doctors for this automobile accident, haven't you? Yes. Do you know how many doctors you've seen? Why don't you just list them for me if you know the names? Dr. Billick. And then I don't remember. I'll just give you the ones that I know. Dr. Kearney, and then there's one from a hospital, Miraloma. I don't know if that's a hospital name or not. It's something like that. It starts with an M, but then I don't know the others, but I know there's more. Did you have any type of testing done at any of these places? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to switch transcripts to something a little bit more challenging. Okay, it's going to be plaintiff questioning. Ready? The interlocutory decree of dissolution of marriage contains a statement that to equalize the distribution of furniture, that you were to be paid $5,000 by Mrs. Sherman. Did you ever receive $5,000 from Mrs. Sherman? The former Mrs. Sherman. I am trying to remember. Let me refresh your memory. The interlocutory decree of dissolution of marriage contains language which states that to equalize the division of the furniture and furnishings, your former wife was to pay you the sum of $5,000. Have you received a payment for remittance or payment in any form from your former wife in the amount of $5,000? I can answer the second question. I only asked one question. Maybe I'm confusing you. No, I didn't receive any money. You never received any money? I never got the $5,000. Now, I asked you in preparation for your testimony today to prepare a list of items which you feel, if you received them, would equalize the division of property. Do you recall my asking you to prepare that list? Yes, I do. And I'm going to show you a list. I've previously furnished a list to counsel that you have prepared in your own handwriting, and I show you this list. Dr. Sherman, if you receive the items on the list, in addition to those items which you have already received, would you be content with the division of the furniture and furnishings? Yes, I would. I would ask that this list be admitted as Exhibit D, Your Honor. Any objection? No objection. It will be received as in evidence as Exhibit D. Will you hand that to me, please? Thank you. Proceed, Mrs. Delaney. Dr. Sherman, you further requested in your moving papers that certain bank accounts, which existed on the date of separation, which were not divided in the interlocutory judgment of dissolution of marriage, be divided at this time. Is that correct? That's correct. Your Honor, I would like to furnish the court with a variety of bank records from First Federal Savings and Loan in Flagstaff, Arizona, which I would ask be admitted into evidence. They've been sent in sealed envelopes, and both counsel have examined the records. Any objection? No objection, Your Honor. They will be received as Exhibit E and so marked. Let the court see it, Mr. Clerk. So received. Dr. Sherman, you separated from your wife, Carolyn Sherman, in March of 2014. Is that correct? That's correct. Your former wife's petition alleges March 4 of 2014. Is that correct? I believe that's correct. The records before the court indicate that there was, on March 4 of 2014, an account with First Federal Savings number 9-5307-51 existing on that date in the amount of $40,599.14. Did you at that time have any knowledge of the existence of that account? I don't recall having any knowledge of that account. First Federal Savings also had an account which on March 4 of 2014, number 9-5306-85, had an approximate amount of $70,861.75. Just a moment. Give the numbers again, please. 9-5306-85. All right, proceed. Now then, you had an account at First Federal Savings with you and Carolyn, which was an account for your daughter, Mia. Is that correct? Was the approximate amount of the account $70,000 at the time you separated? No, Carolyn had the account. She was the trustee for Mia's account. I'm not on that. Okay, but you were aware of that account? Oh, yes. Is it your request, Dr. Sherman, that the property be divided equally? That's my request. Dr. Sherman, you make a further request that the value that was originally placed on your medical practice be reduced because of administrative proceedings which resulted in your repaying some medical overcharges and attorney's fees which you incurred as a result of those proceedings. Now, for preliminary purposes, I was not your attorney in those proceedings. Is that correct? That's correct. And you have alleged that you had to repay Anthem $30,000 2 years prior to your separation. That's correct. What year were you required to repay Anthem for? 2008. And have you in fact repaid them that amount? Yes, I have. In resolving those claims and going through the administrative hearings that resulted in the amount being assessed against you, did you incur attorney's fees? Yes, I did. Who was the attorney that represented you? It was Gary A. Bishop. Do you have any objection? I think it is redundant. Okay, we've got just a few more minutes. I'm going to give you just a little bit of medical testimony. Here we go. No, I'm sorry. It's plaintiff attorney. You couldn't tell whether or not he knew they were policemen out there or that he just didn't know what happened until the police arrived to arrest him? That's correct. Now, in the past, he has exhibited a personality when he is drinking, at least on some occasions, where he has become aggressive. Is that correct? That's correct. So you have no way of telling how Mr. Johnson reacts when he has done quite a bit of drinking. His usual pattern, as he recalled it, as to this area of amnesia was occasionally getting into some trouble with his aggressiveness or getting arrested for being drunk, but rarely, very rarely, were there hallucinations involved. What did he tell you about the rifle and ammunition? Did he tell you anything about it? You mean while he had it? Did he tell you he had it? When did he remember he had it? And did he tell you about loading the gun, not loading the gun? He, to me, didn't recall loading the gun. He recalls somehow leaving the house He believes he had the gun with him. Then he recalls the firing of the gun, firing back at some flashes. That's about all he recalls. Does he recall his firing that weapon? He thought he did. It was kind of vague. He thought he recalled firing back at some flashes. Then he also indicated he may have fired first in one of his statements to you. He wasn't sure about that. Again, this is an area where his recall was not that good. Nothing further, Your Honor. Anything further, Mr. Stein? Yes, thank you. The area that he was recalling this firing, doctor, the people that suffered from this acute alcoholic hallucinosis or any type of alcoholic damage to their brain, is this the area where they fill in when they have some sort of retrograde amnesia? To some extent, also the time factor is sometimes impaired. What happened first, what happened second, this type of thing. It may be out of order. Okay, that concludes our Q&A practice for the 170 class. Have a great day.